weeks of family vacation.
No to the way to the Jose. But Paula, talk it out before you walk it out.
And I'm here in New York while he's back in Hooglanderveen.
Long distance is the wrong distance, Sue. Deal breaker.
Mickey Rourke wants to take me camping.
Deal breaker, Jenna. God.
And I haven't seen my fiance in 7 months.
Suri, I have 2 words for you.
Robot warning.
Okay, that catchphrase needs a little work. Deal breaker.
Teach it like you preach it, Liz Lemon.
While we might not have Liz Lemon anymore to dish out her deal-breaker relationship advice, singles out there today certainly have their very own deal-breaker list. And based on a new national survey of 5,500 single men and women conducted for Match.com, some of those might surprise you. Notable deal-breakers, virgins and those saddled with credit card and student debt. But not a problem. Living at home with mom and dad, nearly half of the singles out there will still cozy up with you in the basement of mom and dad's house. No matter what your living situation, the survey will make you think twice about what you Facebook, tweet, and blog about in the future. The survey reveals that almost half of ladies do their social homework before a date, and nearly the same amount will cancel a date if they find something online they don't like. I don't blame them. For a deeper understanding of the single life, we've got world-renowned biological anthropologist Dr. Helen Fisher of Rutgers University. Doctor, thank you so much for being with us.
I'm delighted to be with you.
And are there big differences in the deal-breaker list between men and women?
Well, when we asked what you really must have and what's very important for you to have, men and women were very similar. They both basically want somebody who respects them, somebody who they can trust, somebody who they can confide in, somebody who makes them laugh, and somebody who's physically attractive to them. So they're very similar in that way. They're also rather similar in what they don't want, which is even more interesting to me because they don't seem to want anymore somebody necessarily from their same ethnic background or from their same religious background. And that's a real change. I mean, for thousands of years, you tended to need to marry somebody from your ethnic and religious background. And this is slipping away. Singles are now looking for self-fulfillment. They really want a full personal connection that is not necessarily one that their family endorses, that their religion endorses, that their community endorses.
Is it an actual plus for the person to be from a different ethnic or religious background, or it's just not a factor?
I would guess that there's great pluses and great minuses. We didn't study that in this particular questionnaire because we had over 200 questions. I mean, and by the way, it was a national representative sample. We didn't sample the Match.com population. It's based on the U.S. Census, so we got the right number of blacks, whites, Asians, Latinos, etc., gay, straight, every rural, urban, suburban, every age group, etc. But, you know, when you marry somebody from a very different background, you have complications, particularly at traditional holidays. And so people do still naturally tend to be drawn to somebody from their same ethnic background. But they don't say it's a must-have. They don't need it anymore. We're turning away from those traditional values, moving towards sort of individual fulfillment.
That's interesting. Portends of a new America, but now you also found out that for a lot of people, a deal breaker is being a virgin. 42% would not date a virgin, and women especially are hardcore. 51% of women would not date a virgin. I think I completely understand, but you're the guest, so why don't you explain to America why so many people, and women in particular, are like, no virgin?
Well, I think it's easier to explain why women don't want a virgin, because they want a man who's got some experience. They might also wonder, why hasn't one girl in all these years ever gotten him into bed? But I think it's more curious to me that 33% of men will not date a virgin. And that, you know, that, I mean, once again, for 5,000 years, you know, virginity at marriage was a core value in the Western tradition. And to have this change so dramatically, it's, to me, a sea change. It is the one single statistic out of hundreds of thousands of pieces of data on this Match.com study that really talks about a sea change in what you're looking for.
I don't know. We want experience too, Doctor.
I don't know. I'm actually a little unsettled by that. But one thing that was pleasantly surprising to me was to hear that so many people put grammar as one of their top issues, second only to teeth, when they go on a date in terms of judging their date. That's amazing to me, and actually a really kind of a sign of good things, right? That we still prize good grammar, good spelling?
I think that the teeth and the grammar actually come from evolutionary drives. I mean, your teeth say a great deal, not only about your health, but your youth. I mean, the older you get, the more they get chipped, the more they get discolored, the more
and your
they're likely to
economic
get
status.
lost.
It's all built in there.
Exactly. And by the way, even other primates, monkeys actually will be more attracted to an individual who has very symmetrical white teeth. So we're not the only primate that likes teeth.
Interesting.
And I think that the grammar is more talks about your background, as somebody said, your educational level. And of course, we are living in the age of communication. I mean, you know, you no longer got the best job because you were so strong. Today's you get the best job because you are very skilled at communication. And your grammar is going to play a big role in how well you can communicate, how far you're going to go, probably even in the job market.
I knew there's a reason I memorized all those linking verbs back in middle school.
It's paying off right now.
I guess there were some surprising results here in terms of attitudes of singles towards marriage. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I was really pleased with this data. This, first of all, when we asked 90% of people who want to get married, and the vast majority of people in their 20s and 30s still do want to wed, they want to get married, 90% of them believe that you can remain married to the same person forever. And this has increased since 2011. We did the same Match.com study in 2011, and it's only about 75% of people believed you could stay married to the same person forever, and now it's 90%. And you know what? They're onto something, because when we studied 1,000 married people, we studied over 5,000 singles, but also 1,000 married people, this particular study, and 80% of people who are married today in America would remarry the same person again.
Amen.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful
not wedlock padlock. It is wedlock happiness.
All right, Dr. Helen Fisher, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Speaking of single ladies, which I'm sure we did in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Up next, Essie takes on